Everyone dreams of a perfect beginning. Ada's began with love, bright, beautiful, and full of promise. She was 26 when she married Chike, the man who had held her hand through university, joblessness, and heartbreaks. Their love wasn't loud, but it was deep, the kind that felt like home even in silence. The wedding was like something out of a fairy tale. Laughter, dancing, flowers, and endless pictures. People said she glowed like a woman carrying destiny in her womb. Some even teased that the baby would come before the honeymoon ended. Ada only smiled. But life, as she would come to learn, doesn't always follow the script. The first year passed, no child. The second came, nothing. By the third, the whispers began. It started with the quiet questions from relatives. Are you eating well? Have you seen a doctor? Should I take you to my church? Then the subtle suggestions. Maybe you should let him marry another, just for a child. You're a good woman, Ada. But a man needs a legacy. The most painful words came not from strangers, but from family. Chike's mother, once warm and welcoming, began to pull away. His aunts avoided her. Some friends stopped inviting her to baby showers. Every month became a painful countdown, hope rising, then crashing. Every late period came with anxiety, and every negative test felt like failure. She tried everything: medicine, prayers, herbal remedies, fasting. She wept in church, in her bathroom, in the shower, places no one could hear her. But through it all, one thing stayed constant. Chike. When the pressure got too much, when the voices became too loud, when even Ada began to doubt herself, Chike was there. Unbothered by tradition. Unshaken by expectations. You're not less, Ada, he would whisper at night, holding her close. I didn't marry a womb. I married you. But even love can grow tired. And Ada began to break, not loudly, but quietly. She laughed less. Spoke less. Stopped going out. She buried herself in routine, in silence, in shame. Then, one day, on her 33rd birthday, Chike gave her a small gift. A silver bracelet with a single charm, a tiny cradle. He didn't say much. Just held her hand and said, no matter what comes, you're still the mother of my peace. She cried like she hadn't in years. That moment changed something. She agreed to try again, one last time. IVF. The process was draining, but they went through it. And finally, the result came back. Positive. Ada was pregnant. Joy flooded their home. She sang again. Danced in the kitchen. Took pictures of her growing bump. She even bought a baby journal and began writing letters to the child growing inside her. But happiness, it seems, had a time limit. At 6 months, a scan revealed complications. The pregnancy was high risk. Her body was struggling. The doctors warned her gently but firmly, continuing the pregnancy could cost her life. Ada was quiet for a long time. Then she smiled and said, if I die trying, at least I tried loving. Chike wanted to argue, but he saw the resolve in her eyes. So they continued, with caution, with prayers, with faith. The final months were hard. Her body weakened. There were nights she could barely breathe. But she kept going. And then, one cold night, the labor began. It was chaos. Rushing to the hospital. Machines beeping. Doctors shouting. Chike pacing the hallways, sweating and praying. Then, silence. A nurse stepped out. Her eyes heavy. She said only 3 words. The baby didn't make it. Chike fell to the floor. He didn't even ask about Ada. Because just minutes later, her heart stopped too. For a moment, everything went dark. But fate wasn't done. Somehow, maybe by miracle, maybe by mercy, Ada came back. She woke up days later, disoriented and weak. She looked around, confused, until she realized her arms were empty. No baby. No cradle. Just silence. The weeks that followed were a blur. She couldn't speak about it. Couldn't cry. The world moved on, but she was stuck between grief and guilt. But life, in its strange way, always finds a crack to let light through. A year later, Ada began volunteering at a children's shelter. At first, she only swept floors and organized books. She couldn't bring herself to hold any of the children. Until one day, a little girl ran up to her. Big eyes. Quiet. Clingy. She didn't talk. Just held Ada's finger tightly and refused to let go. They said she'd been abandoned at birth. That no one had come for her in 2 years. Ada held her that day, and something clicked. Something healed. She brought her home weeks later. The adoption was quiet. No party. No announcement. Just her and Chike, standing in their living room, holding a child who wasn't born from their bodies, but from their healing. And that night, as Ada tucked her in, she looked at the cradle charm on her bracelet. Still silent. Still small. But this time, she smiled. Because some cradles aren't built for babies, but for peace. Life lessons. Not all mothers give birth. Some become mothers through love, sacrifice, and pain. Support is the greatest gift a partner can give, louder than applause, stronger than advice. The world may define women by their wombs, but true worth goes far deeper. And sometimes, the miracle you prayed for won't come how you expect. But it'll come. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more folktales.